What's up? I'm that one guy from 87, and today we're going to be changing the oil in my 2007 Chevy Silverado. Alright, so the tools we're going to need to use today is a socket set, which we're going to use a 13mm deep weld socket, an extension, socket for the filter, or if you don't have a filter socket, you can use one of these contraptions. You're going to need a funnel, oil drip pan, some rags, and then you're going to need your new oil filter and your oil, which we're going to be using Mobil 1 high mileage full synthetic, which is 5W30, and we're going to be using a Mobil 1 extended performance oil filter. So before we start changing the oil, we're going to want to go ahead and put our emergency brake on, which we're already going to have the car in park, but you definitely want to be safe while you're under your vehicle. And then also, if you use jack stands and jack your vehicle up, after you put your emergency brake on, go ahead and chalk the back of your tires. That way you know you're safe while you're underneath there. Alright, so now when you're ready to drain your oil, you want to go ahead and get your oil pan down here. Which you want to make sure your oil pan isn't clogged, so it doesn't overflow when you start filling it up. Get you a rag, and then get your 13mm deep weld socket and your socket wrench. Now on this model Chevy Silverado, the oil plug or the drain plug is located on the passenger side, right in front of the transmission. So we want to go ahead and loosen up the oil drain bolt. Pull our pan back, and then slowly take out the drain bolt. And then you're going to want to pull it out really quick. Alright, so now that you got your drain bolt out, you want to make sure you take a rag, preferably a clean rag, and one that doesn't leave a lot of residue or material behind. And you're going to want to clean off your drain bolt real good. Make sure you get all them little impurities and dust, rock, whatever may be in it off of there, so you can get a good seal when you put it back on. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's always a good step to follow. Alright, so when it comes to a nice little drip like that, it's about time I like to go ahead, put the drain bolt back in, screw it in just a little. Go ahead, wipe up any excess oil that's dripping. Put your oil pan back. Finger tighten the drain bolt. Get your wrench. And just make sure it's on there snug. You don't want to over tighten it, but you definitely don't want it too loose. And then I'm sure if you refer back to your owner's manual or to a Haynes guide, they'll tell you exactly what to torque it to. But I always just try to make sure it's snug with a wrench after I hand tighten the bolt. Alright, so now you're ready to take your old oil filter off. You're going to need your filter socket, socket wrench, your oil drip pan, and a rag. The oil filter is located on the driver's side of the oil pan right in front of the transmission, and it's really tight against the oil pan, so that's why I use a oil filter socket when taking it off. So first you're going to want to get your socket on there nice and tight, and it's probably going to stick to the filter when you take it off, but that's okay. I usually go ahead and put the extension on when I'm putting the filter socket on. Go ahead and attach your ratchet and slowly start twisting it off. When it starts feeling loose, go ahead and pull your oil drain pan back and then slowly start loosening it. Now it's going to start to drip. I usually let it drip until it slows down. And then once it starts dripping so much, go ahead and slowly drop it into your oil pan. And then remember, before you install your new oil filter, to go ahead and take the filter socket off the old one, which sometimes it might be stuck on there pretty good. So you might have to beat it off. Alright, so now before you install your new oil filter, you're going to want to go ahead, take it out of the box, turn it upside down, look at it, make sure it looks good, grab your oil, and go ahead, fill the filter up with the new oil, which not everybody does this. This is how we do it. You want to get some oil on your finger, and go ahead and lubricate the seal. And once you did that, you're ready to install your new oil filter. Alright, so when you're ready to put your new filter on, we'll go ahead and line it up. Hand tighten it. So as we get it on there hand tight, we're going to go ahead and put our socket back on and make sure it's nice and snug. You don't want it too tight or over tighten, but you definitely don't want it loose. So we got it on there nice and snug. I'm going to go ahead, clean up some of this oil. So now that we got the filter on, and while we're still under the truck, it's a good time to take a look around, make sure everything looks good, and see if there's anything that's going to need maintenance anytime soon. Alright, so now it's time to start adding the new oil. So we're going to find our oil cap. But you'll know it's the oil cap because it has the oil symbol, and it also tells you what type of oil you need, which is what we're using, 5W30. Go ahead and put your clean funnel in, and then slowly start adding your new oil. Alright, so now we put 5 quarts in. We'll go ahead, take the funnel out, grab the dipstick, give it one good clean, take it out. And see where it reads. But you want it in between the crosshairs, not too low, or not below it, or above it. And then right now we're right in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and put the dipstick back in, put the oil cap back on. And then we're going to start the engine for a minute or two, come back after the oil cycles, and see what the dipstick reads. Alright, so we just let the engine run for about a minute or two and shut it off. We're going to go ahead, pull the dipstick out, give it a good clean. So it still looked a little low. We'll go ahead and take the cap back off. Get the funnel in there. Now I'm only going to add about 1/4 of the bottle. Take the funnel back out. Crosshairs look good. Gonna put our dipstick back in. Put the oil cap back on. And we're good to go. So after you're done changing your oil and adding your new oil, you want to go ahead and reset the oil life on your dash. First you want to come over here to the little car information button. Tap it till you get to the oil life. And then come down here and hold the check mark. And it will reset itself to 100%. So after you're done changing your oil, you want to go back, check your drain bolt and filter, make sure you don't see any oil leaking, and then periodically through your oil life cycle, you want to check your driveway, make sure you don't see any little spills, and also check your dipstick and make sure you're maintaining the right amount of oil. So we just changed the oil in this 2007 Chevy Silverado. I hope this video helped you out, and thank you for watching.